everybody, welcome to Morning Glory Farmstead. My name is Lolly and this channel is all about gardening, animals, and nature. Hey, y'all are about to see this blue glow behind my head while I'm talking in the video. I'm hoping while I'm standing there, it's actually going to make my brain grow bigger. Hey everybody, I tried for quite a while to record outside, but we're under a no burn advisory because of the wind, and it is no joke. Stuff is flying all over the place around my property. My tripod wouldn't stay up and my hair was in my mouth while I was trying to talk. So that is a no-go. I do have some footage that I took outside just so that you guys can see some of the stuff that I'm talking about in this video today. Just a quick note, some have informed me that they were removed from my channel without meaning to be, and they had to subscribe again. So periodically, y'all do me a favor, check to make sure that you're still subscribed. That, as well as those thumbs up and hitting the notification bell, are super helpful to my channel, because in a week, you guys, I'm hitting my 6-month anniversary and I want to grow this into a business. I take this lighthearted delivery of information and fun that I have seriously. Also, a quick reminder that I'm not an affiliate of GREENSTALK, but they did give me a link for y'all to get $10 off your order, so check that out in the description box. All right, today I want to talk to you about my new garden space for the spring. You know, this is one of those times where I'm choosing between two scenarios and neither is really ideal. The new space has potential, but my animals are my quality of life, so that's where all my money goes. So I don't live frivolously or have excess, and so maybe I can slowly get it to where I want it to be and get to a better place. This is not my dream setup by any means, because I'd really like to have a cement slab or a shallow deck so I can kind of roll things around for convenience, because I'm not really supposed to be lifting heavy things or straining, but it is what it is. You know, because I have health issues, my priorities may not be the same as everyone else's, and I don't take it a day at a time. I actually take it minute by minute as it comes to me, and I'm grateful to be here. I kind of pick and choose my battles, and sometimes it's just not worth spending your energy on being irritated about things that you can't change. I have a certain allotment of energy to utilize every day, and I want to put that where it counts and use it on things that I do have at least a little bit of control over. Hey, one thing I do have access to, and I would love to hear your thoughts about this in the comments, is that because I live close to a rock quarry, I have access to 14 tons of gravel a year. Now, not that I would need that kind of gravel every year, but I pay $75 and they deliver it. And I can choose whatever kind of gravel I want because it's their good neighbor policy. I think it's their way of saying, hey, thanks for tolerating what feels like a bomb going off and shaking your entire house at times and really making your dogs bark when you're in a corporate meeting with other leaders. Okay, now that I say that out loud, I kind of feel like that delivery fee should be waived. Maybe that should be on them. And maybe even throw in a bobcat so I can move that gravel around once it gets here. But seriously, I did some research, and gravel around the home is good for protecting the foundation, and they say it helps with drainage. But I would have to somehow get it all over to this particular spot, which would be crazy intense unless I spend money to rent a bobcat. I do have 2 gate entrances in the backyard that I can fit my Pilot through, which, by the way, she actually thinks she's a truck, but I won't be able to have one of those monster trucks come in the backyard to deliver all those rocks. I do love gravel walkways. I think you can add some really pretty touches to a garden. So y'all leave a comment about what you'd do if you had those 14 tons of rocks and you're on a budget. All right, there's pros and cons to leaving my garden set up where it is or moving it. And so I did some evaluation and I decided that letting my animals reclaim the catio is the right decision for me. So let's talk about that for just a minute. I did a video on my cat and dog rescues. And so if you watch that, you'll see that animals are a huge part of my life. And due to the predators, which are a real threat in this area, I have fenced in my backyard for some extra protection and to keep my dogs from actually getting out and maybe chasing something into the woods and then getting hurt by a pack of coyotes. You know, they hunt this area all year long. I usually see them in the late afternoon, maybe running across the fields right on the outside of my property, or I hear them at night because they're right here behind the tree line that runs down the side of my property. They gather here when they're about to start hunting or when they're meeting up after finding some food. And sometimes they may just call out to let other coyotes know, hey, this is our territory, it's taken, so y'all gotta go somewhere else. Territory is a serious thing, and people always want to kill these coyotes, but another pack is just gonna move in. So it really doesn't solve the problem. Also, did y'all know that they can control how many pups they have? So if part of the pack is killed, they know there's more food available. And now they're going to increase the size of the next litter. So they're just doing their thing. But this is also why my cats are not outdoor cats. I've seen many injured cats in my time, and coyotes will absolutely attack cats. And all I'm going to say is it's a cruel way to go. So I had this tall black chain link fencing put up around my patio so that my cats would have a way to be outdoors just like the dogs, but safely. And actually the cats and the dogs love to come out here and just lie in the sun and watch the chickens. Now I have a large kitchen window also that's low enough that I just keep it open and they literally jump in and out of it all day long. And then also my sunroom opens up to the catio. So there's a lot of traffic out there. So there really are multiple reasons that I decided to move my plants to a different area. The first reason is that I'm gonna have 7 green stalks this season. And when I had 5 green stalks out there this past spring, there really wasn't much room for me to maneuver as I garden. And especially if I had supports on them, because those supports actually add a couple more feet in the diameter. They also took up a lot of room on the cement where the cats and dogs go to soak up the heat on the warm days. Did you guys know that cats are heat seekers? And some of them like to have a little bit more room to themselves. And so I just like to have as much square footage as possible out there. Then there's the fact that cats are always jumping into my green stalk on the top tier to get up high and watch the chickens. And when they jump up and down, they're damaging my plants, tearing up the leaves. They also chew on the plants that are on the bottom 2 tiers, which means I'm not getting to eat those. Now I also have this tree, which I love, but it keeps getting bigger. And this year it finally knocked off a few good hours of sunlight. And so that area on my patio that used to get the beautiful morning sun is going to be much smaller as all of those leaves start to fill back in again. I mean, my green stalks did great throughout the fall and winter because there were no leaves blocking the sunlight. Now this spring, I'm also going to have more plants and more grow bags. And so my cats would probably use the grow bags as kitty litter boxes. And that's not the type of natural fertilizer that I'm looking for. And there simply just wouldn't be enough room practically to have all 7 green stalks and all of the grow bags in one place. Now the front of the house has a ton of space, but honestly, I don't want a huge garden set up out where it's easy access to just people walking by during the summer going down the windy road. And also the fencing in the back may keep deer and other animals from eating my veggies. Now, I know there's animals that can climb my fence and do, so we'll kind of see how this goes. I've got lots of wildlife, y'all, around my property and on my property every night. So let's talk about the pros and cons of the new area. Now, the biggest con is that I can no longer move my green stalks around easily unless I spend money. It's all dirt, weeds, grass, and it's really not very level. Another con is that unless I can move everything out far enough in the mornings and then move them back in, I'm missing a lot of that more mild morning sunlight. And instead, I'm going to get plenty of the afternoon scorching sun during the summer. So I kind of need to figure out how to provide some shade. And I also think that having my green stalks on the other side of the sunroom protected them from violent winds. It will be interesting to see how they fare through all of the horrible storms, the torrential downpours that I get being on the opposite side of the sunroom now. The pros are that I can go back to dog grooming on the catio because I do all of that myself. I also like the fact that there's still 2 walls of protection and they're not just out in the middle of the open. I have about twice the room even if I just stay in this area right between the sunroom and the little dog's potty area fence, and my cats won't be eating my plants. And also plenty of room to add flowers this time for pollinators. And although I hate using the water in this hose to water my plants, I know that I don't always get enough rain during certain times of the year, and so I'm gonna have to water them sometimes. And with this hose right here, it's super easy access. Now on the catio, I have to stretch the hose to reach, and I can't really close the gate properly while I'm using it. So that's kind of a hazard. It's also very secluded back here in the backyard. No one can really see what's going on, except for maybe the occasional obnoxious drone, planes, my chickens, and maybe the people hunting behind my property. And I also like that if I have enough plants back here, I may not have to worry about weed whacking, weed eating, mowing as much. You can tell I haven't touched this area in a few months, but the weeds grow super high back here. This is where my septic tank is and where my AC unit is. And so I can really take this area, put it to good use, and actually make it look a little bit prettier. So I'm slowly going to be moving my green stalks over here, kind of setting up the two that I have that are not in use, and also getting my grow bags set up. This morning, I had my son-in-law and my grandkids come over and help me with moving all this stuff from the front to the back, so it's really starting to feel real today. What are you guys doing right now? I love the fact that we can all grow food in a variety of settings. You know, not everybody has a huge area to grow. We just do what we can, don't expect perfection, and enjoy the fruits of our labor. Y'all leave me some comments below. I love to hear from you guys and get to know you. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you again real soon in the next video. Until then, y'all have a great couple of days. Bye-bye.